Every month we have a theme that we focus on together as a church family. And this month we're focusing on story. What can story do for us in our lives? Telling stories, listening to stories. And I found this book that I've had for a long time by a friend of mine named Josh, who's a minister in Connecticut. And he wrote this story called The Storyteller by the Sea, which I want to tell you about. There was a woman in the Pacific who lived on an island. She was one of the best storytellers anyone had ever heard. People who heard her stories laughed and cried. They felt their hair stand up on their body when they heard a story told by her, and they felt their heart pound more, wanting to get back to living life right away after hearing her stories. And they told each other, and other people. She became famous around the world. And people came to see her. One time, a group of people joined together from Asia and Africa and Latin America, and they said, we're going to get together and go hear the Storyteller by the Sea. We don't want to miss out. So they traveled far and wide and finally came to her, and there she was sitting by the sea on the beach, the waves coming in. They said, is it true? Are you the storyteller everyone talks about? She said, well, I tell a lot of stories, so it's possible. And they said, well, we didn't want to miss out, so we came. Can we hear some of your best stories? She said, sure. Well, I'm not sure which story to tell, she said. Do you all have an idea? And they said, well, we've got a lot of stories of our own. Someone said, I've got a favorite story. Okay, what about, the person said, there's a teenage girl in Argentina who's so smart and passionate, and she has a dream to fly an airplane, to be a pilot. But she doesn't have a plane. She's so together. She studies and learns. She makes her own airplane. And then she learns how to fly it. She flies it up into the mountain range called Patagonia. And it's just having the time of her life. And then all of a sudden, the plane wasn't perfect. She would have to work on it later. But it kind of had to do a soft crash landing. Of course, no one was seriously injured. But the plane couldn't fly anymore, so she had to get up and walk back through the snow all the way back home. When she got there, people said, where you been? We've been worried about you. Well, I made a plane and I flied it, had to crash, soft land it, and walk back through the snow. But I'm so happy. Everyone around her was inspired to figure out what they wanted to do with their brains and their hearts and their days. Wow, the story said, that's an amazing story. But do you have any other ones? Some said, I have one. Man living in Fiji, an island where the communities live off of fishing. The community is going through a really tough time because for some reason, no one can explain it, but they cannot find any fish. They're coming back in with 2 or 3 fish when they should be coming back with hundreds on a daily catch. And the people are struggling. They don't have a lot of money. They're hungry. They're down, they're sad, they're worried. This man decides, well, this is tough. But what do we do when it's tough? He gets out his drum. He starts playing his drum. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Other people start coming in. Someone brings another drum. Someone brings a guitar. Someone brings a flute. Other people join in, start dancing, and they have a dance party right there in the neighborhood. They forget their troubles for a while and just connect with some of their favorite songs and friends, and they lift each other's hearts. And that story teaches anyone who hears that no matter how hard it gets, you can enjoy music or dance or laugh, especially with friends in a safe community.
Play with your sister.
What's that?
Play with your sister.
You can play with your sister too.
It also has some ginormous dance parties.
Yeah.
Do the Three Little Bears.
So there's so many different stories. We have suggestions coming around the circle right now. But the storyteller said exactly like this. You know what? The thing I've learned the most from being a storyteller is that you all have your own stories of love, courage, and hope that means so much to you and to me. And so if we keep creating spaces where we tell your stories and the stories that we hear, it makes our lives better. So that's my prayer for you. Will you keep telling and listening to stories?
I love you.
Oh, I love you all so much. I love you all so much. And we are going to sing you off with love now to your programs. Okay?